Hi you guys, I am Tisha Marie. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for tuning back in. So as you can see by the title below, today's video is going to be my updated flawless foundation routine. So if you have been watching me on YouTube or if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I'm a ride or die for Fenty beauty products. So I have always used her hydrating foundation, and I also was using the soft matte when it first came out. Those foundations are gorgeous. I don't have anything against them now. I still use them, but I have started to incorporate some new things, some different brands into my foundation routine that I actually use to get this nice look that we have here. So if you guys are interested in what I'm using for my foundation now, just go ahead and keep watching. So as you guys may or may not know, Fenty foundation and concealer have been my go-to products for a while. I was using the soft matte pearl foundation. I was also using the hydrating, and I still really love those, but I have kind of switched over to something a little bit different. So the very first thing that I'm going to do, actually what I've already done, is moisturize my face with the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream. I really love this stuff. And what I'm going to do now is go in with my Maybelline Baby Skin Primer. Okay, so now that I'm all primed, I am going to go in with my Nars Natural Radiant Foundation, and I am in the shade Macao. I think that's how you pronounce it. This is the one that I'm talking about, if I'm not pronouncing that right. So I just shake it up really good, and then I just pump some onto my face. And this is a full coverage foundation, you guys, so you don't really have to use too much. On my forehead, I use only like a little tiny pump, not even a full pump. So I'll just go in with a damp beauty blender type of sponge, and I start to blend. Now sometimes before I do this step, I do go in with a color corrector, just like around my mouth. But because this coverage is full, I don't find myself having to do that with this specific foundation. So as you guys can see, this side of my face is pretty much all blended in, and you can see that coverage looks really nice. And I love this foundation. It just makes you look really flawless. Make sure we move the hair out of the way. You want to make sure that you blend under your jaw, under your chin. Make sure you blend everything really nicely. Get it all in the crevices around your nose. And then I'm just going to blend my forehead. And personally, I try not to get the foundation into my baby hairs because I hate that. All right, so foundation is all blended, and what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go in with my concealer. What I'm using today is the Colourpop No Filter Concealer, and I'm using the shade Dark number 48. So what I'm going to do is go right under my eye. I'm not going to take too much, just like that. Make sure we get under both eyes. And the reason that I kind of spread that out a little bit further is because I noticed that I had some fallout from my eyeshadow that I did not clean up. So I'm just kind of trying to cover it up with my concealer. And then I'll go right down the bridge of my nose. And this is just going to act as a highlight. So you guys, for me, concealer, I don't really use it to conceal anything because I don't have really any hyperpigmentation or like really dark circles under my eyes, I just use it as a highlight. So if this is how you want to use it, this is how I will recommend it. And then I just go right here above the bridge of my nose. So that little area, I don't like to put too much because I don't like that area to be like super duper bright. If you do, that's your preference. I've seen people go a little bit higher, but I personally do not. So then I'll take it and I'll go right here above my lip. And for me, this just helps me to overline my lips when I go in with my lip liner before I do my lipstick or lip gloss. And then I'll just go a little bit here on my chin. All right, so what I like to do, sometimes what I'll do is I'll let my concealer sit for a little bit. It may be a few minutes, and that just helps with the coverage, and it helps when you go to blend it in, so it's not like moving all over the place. It's pretty much kind of set and locked in place, even though you can still blend it out, and it provides just a little bit fuller, better coverage. I'm gonna go ahead and go in and start to blend everything out. I'm still gonna use my damp beauty blender. I'm just gonna use this end, the pointy end, to blend it. So as you can see, I don't have too bright of a highlight. It's a little brightening, not too. If you do, and you find that you don't have a concealer that's light enough, you can always go in with a loose setting powder. And I actually am going to use sort of a brightening setting powder so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to go ahead and blend up the bridge of my nose. Make sure that you keep it straight. Nice and straight, same tapping motion. And then right up here, I just tap, 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 tap. And for my lip, you can see that kind of made my top lip kind of disappear. But don't worry, because we will be getting it back. It looks so weird to me when it looks like that. So I kind of like wipe a little bit away so it doesn't look too crazy. What I'm going to do now is I am going to go in with a contour stick. So I do still use my Fenty Espresso, I believe it is. So I'll either go in with my Fenty Espresso stick, and it's just that deep color there. Or lately I have been going in with this Black Radiance pressed powder in Black Coffee. Both of them are very easy to blend. If you're scared of a cream type of contour, then I would go with the pressed powder. So all I'm going to do with this is take it down the sides of my nose very, very lightly. Now also, don't forget to go right under the tip of your nose. All right. Now what I like to do is I'll go in with this e.l.f. angled contour brush to blend the sides so I don't mess up anything that I did. And I'll just blend in like up and down motions. And then to really blend it in after I do this, I'll go back with my beauty blender and make sure everything is pretty seamless. And then kind of take it all the way up to the brow. And I'll show you guys another trick that I'll use with my bronzing powder as well. So I'll go back in with my beauty blender, up and down the bridge again. And then what I'll do after that is kind of marry those two together right along the edge. And now you see we're looking a lot more natural. Okay, so before I was using my Fenty setting powder in the shade Hazelnut, and I do still use this, but for brightening purposes, how I told you guys about getting a little bit brighter under your eyes, I'm gonna go in with the Fenty setting powder in the shade Honey. And I wanna say that's like one step down maybe from Hazelnut. I'm not sure, there may be another color in between. Okay, so this setting powder actually does come with this mini little powder puff, but I always go in with my damp beauty blender. And I'll just dab it in there with the tip. And before I go right in, I just tap it on the back of my hand so it's not too much. So now what I do is I'll go right under my eye and tap this in. I do not bake with this because I just don't feel that is necessary. And I feel like it gives a flawless look right after you just tap it in. I don't feel like it's necessary to bake with this. You can if you want, but I don't like super duper dry under eye. I feel like tapping it in gives me exactly the type of look that I want. And what I also do is I'll take like the leftover powder that's still on there and I'll go above my brows because my brows tend to get very oily. This is how we are looking after we have our setting powder on. So I think that is looking pretty good. Nice and bright under the eyes. And what I like to do after that, you see I have some parts that are not looking very blended after I put my concealer on. So I just kind of go around the concealer, marry it together with my foundation. And we're back to looking good. So we look good, but we also kind of look like an egg. So that leads me to my favorite part of my flawless foundation routine, which is bronzer. So I'm using the Fenty Beauty Coco Naughty shade. And you guys, this is actually my first time using Coco Naughty. I have been using Mocha Mami. I shattered it and I was still using it even after I shattered it. But because I wanted something a little bit lighter, because Mocha Mami is perfect for me in the summer when my skin is a little bit more tan. But right now we're in the middle of winter and I've pretty much lost that tan. So I don't have that nice, I mean, my skin is obviously still dark, but it's not as dark as it is in the summer. So Mocha Mami it can tend to be a little bit too warm, a little bit too bronze. So if you want something a little bit more natural and you're my skin color, I would go in with Coco Naughty. So I take this angled, what is this? This is actually an angled blush brush by e.l.f. And I just go right in there with it. Tap, tap, tap. And I'm going to go, first, I'm actually going to go right around here. And this just warms the face back up. So you don't look like an egg anymore. You know, like the face isn't all one shade. We don't want it to appear that way. So I just go in my temples, right under like my cheeks, where some people like to contour. I don't like to contour my cheeks, so I just bronze. It's just bringing some warmth back into the face. And then I'm also going to go around the top of my my forehead. And of course my baby hairs are getting all in the way. And then I also like to take it right under my chin and kind of up onto the very bottom of my chin. So another place that you can use your bronzer is on the sides of your nose where we went in with our contour. So I like to take it up kind of into my brow. And this kind of just sets that cream contour that we put into place. And it also kind of like marries the bridge of your nose. Honestly, I don't know what I'm saying, but it just makes it look more natural to me. Instead of like your contour stopping like right here, it goes up into your brow. So now we are all bronzed up. So that's how we are looking with the bronzer. And that's pretty much it for my foundation, my concealer, my setting powder, my bronzer. So now what I like to do, I have been loving a blush. So what I've been using for a blush that also looks kind of natural is this Killawat foil and Penny For You Thoughts. So this is how it looks. It looks like really coppery and brown. But once you put it on the apples of your cheeks, it looks really pretty and really soft. So I just go in. Ooh, it's kind of crumbling for whatever reason. It has quite a bit of glitter and shimmers in it, if you guys can see that. So it kind of crumbled a bit when I put my brush in there, but that's okay. I just tap it off. And then I go in right on the apples of my cheeks. So you see the warmth that that brought to our look. Like it looks really soft, really pretty, very feminine. And it just brought, I don't know, it brought an extra pop to our look. So what I'm actually going to do, because I feel like I put a little bit too much, is I'm just going to go in and blend the edges of that. Because I don't want it to look too harsh, you know? So this is actually supposed to be like a highlighter, but to me it's way too dark for a highlighter. It does still have that shimmer, as you can see, but it looks a lot better to me as a blush. So I am going to go and do my bottom mascara, my eyeshadow under, and my lips, and I will be right back. Okay, you guys, so this is the final look from my Flawless Foundation routine. I hope you guys really liked it. I hope you were able to take something away and maybe use it for your routine going forward. If you guys actually use any of these products that I mentioned, or if you want to know more about the products or like more maybe of an in-depth review, please let me know down in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you again next time. If you have not already, make sure you click the like button. Make sure you also click on subscribe and turn that notification bell so that you don't miss any of the upcoming content that I have coming your way this year. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.